Hi everybody, and welcome to Josiah is Right. I am here with Primrose because we are going to open up Marvel Legends Colossus and Juggernaut. Pretty intense toys, huh, Prim? So we're going to open these two guys up here. I know, it's pretty exciting. So I got these at a GameStop that was going out of business before sort of all the shutdowns and stuff with COVID, probably in March. My wife was just back to work, so yeah, just then I had both girls, and I would go there to buy toys for Penny, like just something small and cheap. It was going out of business, so it would be 40% off, like a little like blind box type of thing. And then these little Star Wars bobbleheads that I bought for her. There was like a Kylo Ren, and then Zori, the girl played by Felicity. So those, that's how I got this one. And right now we're going to open this box up. I love that comic book. I actually made a collage out of it, and it's a personal favorite story. I love when these two do battle. So we're also going to compare it to the Diamond Select of those two figures. So those guys are up on the top shelf. So we're going to look at these ones as we open them and then compare both. So first, let's take a look at the packaging here. Forgive the glare from the window on that side and my light on that side. So you can see Colossus and Juggernaut and extra hands, faces, all that good stuff. Though the battle damage versions. And like I said, I showed you, so you can see there's dust on the top of this from sitting. But the back of this is really cool. So that like when they fought, I think this is like Muir Island. There's like leprechauns in this, and they think like he's a leprechaun. I think, I can't recall Nightcrawler that is. So it's cool. You get sort of a background, and this is one of their at least earlier fights, maybe their first fight. I'm not 100% sure on that. My X-Men knowledge is not always perfect. And then the Juggernaut side and the Colossus side. I always loved the intense emotion that is Colossus. This is a pretty early one, because this is, I believe, a Dave Cockrum art. So Cockrum, who did the designs, and John Byrne, who would later kind of perfect everything, but it was Cockrum initially. So let's slide these beefy guys out. So you can see here just the massiveness of these hands. And again, the battle damage. Take a look at that helmet. It's real rubbery. So there is Juggernaut as I knocked everything over to get him out. So I kind of like... It's funny because I'm used to the Marvel Select, the Diamond Select rather, which we'll compare to for the just the weight. So this one, even though it's a big heavy figure, it's not. It's kind of nothing compared to how big and heavy that one is. That one's just really kind of a massive figure. But one thing I like that I'll show the comparison a little bit when I have them side by side is these ones are more comic book looking. Like, they look more like the comic books than the other one. The detail and all that's amazing. It's kind of like NECA figures versus kind of maybe what Super 7 does. There's sort of a level of detail that is in the paint applications in particular that's reached that's not kind of ultra crazy. So let's get Colossus out of here and it'll get noisy. So, and there is Colossus. Now, Colossus is probably my second favorite X-Men. I love Havoc. I always love that character, but Colossus is great. And again, I love that the coloring on these makes it look a little bit more comic booky. And this is, very much very early Colossus costume. So when he, didn't have his powers on, that he looked a bit like Lion-O or something and showing off a lot of his body. It's kind of interesting. These are loose pieces, so when you take the hands off, I assume these will fall off. And yeah, so those can come off. So you can just see where you can just have his arm sort of exposed if you want to. And this one, I don't have any other opened Marvel Legends figures, so this is the first one that I've actually had. So it's interesting to see. They look great, but they're more like a regular toy. They are not as heavy and dense as I thought they were in the packaging. So we will compare. We'll take a look at the other figures. First, I love the fact that it comes with the closed hands and open hands, because obviously with the Select, you don't have any options. So here is Marvel Select. So we'll do sort of one at a time. So you can obviously see the paint, the differences in paint. And like I said, I kind of prefer what you see here in terms of the paint application and the detail. Like, this looks amazing. This is amazing. This is a work of art in its own right. But in terms of referencing the comic book, the look of this one, the coloring on this one, everything's just too dark here. It doesn't look, you know, like a 70s comic book. And it's, you know, I'm not really a current X-Men reader, but maybe this is a bit more what Juggernaut would look like in the modern comics. I love, though, that with this guy, you have the options for open hands as well as these closed hands. But, you know, you got to have Juggernaut with these big, beefy, closed fists. So you can see, height-wise, though, I'm surprised it's not much of a difference. Just, like, barely taller. Like, the camera's at a little bit of an angle, so he's probably, like, maybe a quarter of an inch or so. You can kind of see it better side by side. That there's not much of a height difference at all. But this one is like super crazy, insane heavy. Like, one of my favorite things is always the details in those boots, and this one's kind of fakes you out. You get the edging of those boots. But overall, this one definitely wins, just because of the beefiness. But this one wins for color, and it's not a bad figure whatsoever, especially for what I paid for it. Because like I said, I got it at GameStop on clearance. It was a really good deal. So that is Juggernaut. Now, I love Juggernaut, but like I said, my favorite X-Men, or my second favorite X-Men, is Colossus. So let's see how Colossus compares. So you can see here, the height difference is more dramatic, because that's one thing that I disliked about this, the Diamond Select Colossus, is that he is too tall in relation to Juggernaut. So this one is a better comparison, probably a perfect height comparison with these two together as opposed to these two together. But the fact that he's still shorter works, because this one, you see, they're almost the same height. So that's one thing that I didn't like about it. But when I look at these two figures, again, it's kind of the same things. The paint being more simple on this one and brighter is more like a comic book in the 70s, whereas this one is more detailed. But this one, to me, doesn't get overly detailed in the paint applications the way Juggernaut does. And I'm not complaining about that, but in terms of the comic book look, this one has more of the comic book look. But this is probably my preferred Colossus. It's almost like going with this Colossus and the big Juggernaut, like sort of mix and matching the figures. But this is my favorite one. And just little things like this is, you know, the squared X belt, the circle, things like that make it a little bit different. This is just overall a more impressive figure. It's, again, more dense, more heavy. But this one, again, like I said, if I were an action figure photographer or something, I'd go with this one and the big guy back there as my sort of combination. And I love this figure, but he's just a little bit too tall. And I do wish that either face had sort of the sensitive side to his faces. I would always love if they ever did a version of Colossus that was him without the powered up suit, just his flesh, and, like, you know, that's the humanity of the X-Men is what always appealed to me. And for whatever reason, this figure has more of that for me than this one, even though this one is awesome. And it's clear that the Diamond Select, they're more impressive figures. But as a comic book and Colossus fan, I'm going to go with the Marvel Legends, as I have some screaming kids up there. So I now have Penny with me to help out, right, Penny? Mm-hmm. So we're going to look at these toys. So there was a little bit of a child meltdown upstairs when I was filming the end of this. So Penny, look at these guys, right? Mm-hmm. These two and these two from different kinds of toys. Which ones do you like better?
What's this?
That's his mask for him. Oh. So that's like a broken version that he gets beat up by the other guy. So which one do you like better? Him or him? Which one? You like him better? Okay.
They're back more.
Yeah.
They match.
That's right, they match. And how about of these two? Him or him? You like him better?
Yeah. Daddy, doctor.
Yeah.
I can help you.
So Penny has picked, and those are her choices for her favorites.
Did she fall down?
Yeah.
I know the big one fall down.
Yeah, it's okay. So Juggernaut and Colossus from Marvel Legends wins for Penny.
Oh, are you funny?
That was Colossus and Juggernaut for the Marvel Legends compared to the Diamond Select. Hope you liked it. It's awesome to have them finally on the shelf as they've been sitting in the box for several months. Can you say bye to everybody? Say bye. Say bye. She's new at this. She doesn't know what to do yet. High five?